Hello everyone, I am super excited that you all are here. If this is your first time coming to Nino Vibes, please do well to click on the subscribe button and also the notification bell so that you'll be notified whenever I upload new videos. So today we're going to be sharing 5 useful tips on how to discover your passion. Have you ever in your life asked yourself this question, do I have a passion? Well, the answer is yes. Every individual has a passion. Every human being has a passion, regardless of your gender, regardless of your sex, regardless of your age. We all have a passion. If you think you're in doubt, you shouldn't be, because the answer is yes. The difference between the other person that has a passion and you is that you haven't yet discovered your passion. It is there, but you haven't discovered it, while the other person has discovered it and is following his or her passion. And that is why this video is going to help you and give you useful tips on how to identify that passion that is inherent in you. Stay tuned. So the first step you should do is to write down the list of your talents. If you have one talent, fine, write it down. If you have multiple talents, write it down. It don't matter. The fact is that everybody has a talent. If you haven't discovered yours yet, well, I am going to be making a new video about how to discover your talent subsequently. But for now, we're just going to focus on how to discover our passion. But if you already know your talent, it's easier for you, because when you write down your list of talents, you'll be able to link your passion and your talent. I don't know if that makes sense, because somehow our talent and our passion are interrelated. They are all working concurrently. For example, when I was trying to discover what my passion was, I had a journal where I had to write down a list of my talents. I had to write down singing, I had to write down encouraging, I had to write down motivational talks, and a lot of things, So I was able to, just scrutinize my talent and discover what it was that made me so in love with my talent. I don't know if that makes sense. So the second step comes in form of a question that you need to ask yourself. What is that thing that I get so lost into that I lose track of time? Okay, let me paraphrase. For instance, now you engage yourself into doing an activity and you get so lost into it that you lose track of time. You just look at the time and like, wow, this time had passed and I was just doing this and I barely noticed. That is one way to discover what your passion is. If you have been engaged into something like that, then it's an indication that that is your passion. Write it down. For example, myself, when I'm locked in a room, I love to spend time creating. I love to be creative. I love anything that will tap out of my creative box. I always derive pleasure doing that. And many a times the answer to this question is, well, that's easy. It's probably my hobby, what I enjoy doing. Probably going for football, going for sporting activities, watching movies, etc. But you need to properly sit down and think critically. What is that thing? In fact, this thing does not even require you to think too much. It's something that you will always do, something that always takes your time. It might be a job, it might be even something that you were engaged in the past, but you just left it somehow. So you just have to spend time to find out what it is. Okay, step number 3. What is that thing that you talk about for hours? That when you talk about it, something in you just sparks, something in you just lights up. Think deep. There is always one thing that brings out the light in us. What is that thing that you can always, debate about, you can talk continuously or argue with someone about, and you cannot even get tired? You want to even keep doing more. Do you understand? So those are the things that you need to put pointers on to discover what your passion is. For instance, not me, but for instance, there's some people that when I engage in discussions with them and we're talking about sporting activities, and some people just bring up football. Oh, wow. You don't want to see the passion in some guys. When they start talking about football, oh my God. Step number 4, very simple, very straightforward, but very, very tricky. What did you love to do as a child? Very tricky one, right? Okay, some of us remember our childhood vividly. Some of us have a short-term or long-term memory loss. Well, I'm one of them. But I still remember some things though. I still remember some things. Well, some of us, we've forgotten most of our childhood. Well, you can blame it on all the food we've eaten. But anyway, the point is, what did you love to do as a child? Our childhood says a lot about our personality. If you don't remember, this is just a very little tip. Just talk to your parents, talk to your mom, engage in a conversation and ask, Mom, what was that thing? Or Dad, what was that thing that I loved to do? Or what were those activities that I enjoyed doing when I was a kid? I'm sure you were very observant of me. So what did I love to do as a kid? I would love to know. That's in case you've forgotten. But if you remember vividly, I am sure, and I'm 100% sure that 90% of the things you remember that you love to do as a child is still your passion till now. And if you have stopped, I encourage you to pick up from where you stopped, because it is very important. I want to use myself as an example. When I was a kid, I always remember, okay, there's this part I remember in my childhood where I always went to my neighbor's house to play the keyboard. I didn't know how to play keyboard though, but I always loved to play the keyboard. I'll just sit down, just, play with the keys, bring up some melodies, and I just used to be so happy. I was involved in Christian fellowship with my parents. So I remember when I was always given the opportunity to give a special number, and I'll play the keyboard and I'll be so happy, though my voice wasn't so good. But it was a passion. It was a passion. Do you get it? So just think deep. Think back. What were those things you love to do? It may be writing. It may be storytelling. It may be acting. Maybe you love to act when you were a kid. You never can tell. Maybe that is your passion. Maybe you love to act. Maybe you love to read. There are a lot of things. It's just for you to sit down and cross-examine yourself. Think back. Go back to the memory lane and remember the things. It will be very, very helpful. Then the fifth, but not the least, is also a question that you need to ask yourself, and only you have that answer. What do you find fulfilling? What do you find meaningful in your life? What is that thing that when you do, you feel, I'm fulfilled doing this? There is always something in someone's life. It may be a series of things, it may be multiple things, it may be just one thing, but there is always that one thing that when you do, you find fulfillment, you find peace, you find joy, you love, you find meaning in it. That is another indicator to discovering your passion. Well, for example, I have to use myself always because apparently I'm the one talking here. So, for example, I have always loved and derived pleasure or derived satisfaction or fulfillment in activism, advocacy. I am passionate about it. There's a feeling you have. It's fulfilling. Do you understand? You need to think that there is something. Think deep. There is definitely something in you. So guys, to crown it all up, Steve Jobs once said something. He said that oftentimes people fail or people do not succeed in what they do because they do not love. They do not love what they do. They do not have passion, in other words, in what they do. So the secret to success is finding what your passion is and following it. Once you discover what your passion is, I tell you, if you are dedicated to following your passion, nothing can stop you. So guys, I hope this was very helpful. If you have any questions, please drop your questions in the comment section below. If you have any comments, drop it in the comment section below. If you have any contribution whatsoever, please drop it in comment section below. I'll be glad to respond. I'll be glad to hear your contributions and your reviews as well. And don't forget, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and click on the notification bell. You won't regret it because this channel promises to be very educative, entertaining, and revealing. See you guys in the next video. Bye.